Hi, I'm sick right now, if you can tell by my voice. I'm really sorry, but the entire video is going to be me with this voice, I guess. I'm really sorry. I know it sounds disgusting, I'm just sorry, okay? I'm sorry. Man, this book is so boring. It's a children's story book. I wish it was a bit more like Dark Souls, you know? You're a grown-ass man. Why are you reading a children's story book? You know what? Cinderella would make the perfect villain. Mate, what are you on about? It's almost perfect. It just needs one more thing. What?
Hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
Hi, and today I'm talking about Black Souls, a jrpg Souls game from 2017. At first glance, it looks like your average RPG Maker game, but this is a little different. While being a hentai game, this is also a dark fantasy game. And trust me, whatever you're thinking, it's so much worse than that. The game starts off with the main character talking to Alice from Alice in Wonderland in a library. After a few dialogues, the prologue ends with Alice exploding and her guts spilling everywhere. No explanation is provided whatsoever, and this sets this mood for the rest of the game. The first fight in the game is against a fucking dragon. Like, this is your tutorial on the combat mechanics of this game. Oh, and Jandiar, yes, that one, dies by burning to death, and she screams a lot. On the surface, the game looks really beautiful with its ambience and background music that one might forget about Alice Al-Kahi dying herself and Jan becoming a part of the BBQ Nation. Alright, now before moving any further, let me tell you about the plot of Black Souls. First, you're dead. Second, after the dragon BBQ'd your ass, you are sent to the Holy Forest. Third, your goal is to get to the Lost Empire and defeat Cinderella. Now you might be wondering, why do you need to defeat Cinderella in this game? Well, the game uses character from the children's storybook, there is a lot of references, and somehow came to the conclusion that the princesses of the storybook will make for the perfect antagonist. Anyway, Cinderella is spreading some kind of weird fog that turns everything into a monster, so in order to stop Cinderella, you either need to kill her or enter a covenant with the 4 demonic princesses. I know this all sounds like a bunch of baloney, but trust me, you'll understand it better once you play the game yourself. Because the game slowly tells you what's actually happening, and I won't spoil it for you, but I'll just say this, play the game yourself at least once because it's truly an experience. And if the fact that it's a hentai game bothers you that much, there is a choice at the start of the game that completely removes all NSFW content from the game, and the game just becomes your normal RPG. And I'll be honest with you, the NSFW content is not the selling point of the game. The major selling point of the game are the storytelling, the characters, the creativity of the creator. The way they have used these characters from fairy tales in this dark, disgusting world is truly interesting and amazing. The characters and their backstories are still the same, but the outcome of their stories and personalities has been twisted in such a way that makes them a perfect fit for this world. That reminds me, the world of Black Souls is beautiful. The art style, the music, everything is on point. The innocent fairy tale-like music that feels mysterious and creates curiosity at the start makes you feel empty and depressed by the end. The art style of Black Soul contributes significantly to its dark atmosphere, capturing the essence of the game's sinister ambience. The map is not that complex, and there really isn't a right direction to go. You can go literally anywhere you want. Sure, there are some areas more difficult than the other, and you will have a harder time going through them, but that's where the combat system comes in. The combat system in Black Souls is very simple. When this bar fills up, the enemy attacks you. You can counter this attack by using parry or avoid the attack using evade. And this combat system is super overpowered because you can beat the entire game without leveling up even one. In fact, remember that dragon at the tutorial? You can beat that dragon at the start of the game and get special item to help you in your playthrough. The reason this combat system is so broken is because of one thing. The game uses rings to give buffs to the player, and you can equip 4 rings at a time. 4 rings! And the rings aren't even that difficult to get your hands on, so with the right combination of the right rings and the weapons, you can basically one-shot every enemy in the game. Now that does not mean that the game is easy. There are boss fights and areas in the game where it's just not worth the fight, to the point where I wish there was a way to avoid all this unnecessary fighting. Oh wait, there is. Also, if you find the game too easy, you can increase the difficulty here. At the starting area, you meet your very first companion, Leaf, and she says this. It may sound vague at the start, but this is exactly what Black Souls is about. You can brute force your way till the end, or avoid fighting altogether. You can enter the covenant with the demonic princesses, or just straight up kill them. You can keep the NSFW content on, or you cannot. The game gives you complete control of your playthrough, and personally, I think that's awesome. After everything I've said, it may seem like the game is very forgiving and there are no consequences for your action. Well, there is a system called sins. If you do something horrible, your sin counter will go up. And after you have collected 5 sin, you will be hunted down by the Black Trial. Ooh. And well, to put it simply, they are fucking strong. And sure, you can beat them at some point and they'll join your party and somehow become not as strong as before, but yeah, they do make going to certain areas in the game annoying. Also, if your sin counter is too high, some events with certain characters will go in an unpleasant way. Wait, what the? Okay, so apparently you can just pay the cat 5,000 souls and your sin counter goes back to 0. Yeah, so the system is rigged from the start to favor the rich, and you can commit as many crimes as you want and pay your way out of it, just like real life. I love when my games have realism in them. Anyways, Black Souls is not everyone's cup of tea. There is gore, there is blood, and it might make people uncomfortable at times, and that's fine. You don't have to like it. It's okay, the game is dark, disgusting, but if you give it a chance, maybe the story and the characters will make you look past all of the shortcomings and give you one of the best RPG experiences I've ever experienced. The game does have its positive, the characters, the storytelling, the time constraint. There is a time constraint in the game, like if you don't do certain events at certain times, the characters will die. There are consequences for your actions, even though it may not seem like it. I can talk about Black Souls for hours on end, but I'll be honest, it's a game that you must play for yourself. It's an experience, and trust me, yours will be different. And if you have made it this far into the video, consider subscribing to the channel. Also, like the video if you want to see more Black Souls or JRPG content on the channel. And I will see you all next time. Bye.